Okay, welcome back to video series number 3. Now let's talk about niche research and product selection. So by now, I've showed how to set up your basic Shopify store, okay? Now let's figure out how to find some products to put inside it. So one thing to keep in mind again is you do not have to do it in this order. If you want to save time on your Shopify 14-day trial, you can certainly find the products that you want to add to your site first. For a lot of people, that might make more sense if you don't know anything or have any idea about what niche you want to go into. That way, when you do find some products, you can know exactly what the logo needs to be and what you could label your store. You can start brainstorming different names and everything. So by the time you go to sign up for your store, you know what you want to put in all the information when you sign up. So moving forward, let's get into niche research and product selection. Now, this is going to be the most important stage of this entire process. There is no hard and fast rule on how to do this. Again, this is just the way I do things that works for me. So niche research and mainly product selection. Once you find your niche, you'll spend the rest of your time finding new products for that niche to grow your business, and you'll be constantly wanting to find different products to try for your free plus shipping offers. The more of those you have, the better. It just means more campaigns running in Bing and more traffic coming to your site. The main thing you want to look for are items that have a high perceived value. Okay, and what I mean by that is if you're trying to advertise and spend your money advertising and what you're offering seems like a really cheap looking item that most people aren't even going to be interested in, you're going to have a hard time getting people to take action and buy things from you. So especially for these free plus shipping offers, what you want to find are items that in the public's eye seem to be worth a lot, have a lot of value. Okay, now what comes to my mind right now, and mainly when people generally get started in this, it's usually what comes to their mind too, are items like necklaces, pendants, rings, earrings, basic jewelry items because they look expensive, right? And if you use AliExpress or overseas, you can get these items for a lot less than what you would pay here in the USA. So that's what I mean by high perceived value, okay? And it doesn't just have to be jewelry. That's just the example I used right now. Once you start exploring AliExpress and eBay, you'll start finding all kinds of different ideas and items that you can test out, okay? Now, a good price to start and look for, especially for the free plus shipping offers, is $3 and under. The reason for that, and you can go higher if you want, but I recommend staying at items that cost $3 or less. The lower price the item is, the more profit you're going to make. And the reason is this. When you're charging for shipping, we're charging $6.95 for shipping, okay? So we'll call it roughly $7. That's a $4 profit if you find an item that costs $3, okay? And you're giving it to the customer for free and you're just charging them the $7 for shipping, okay? If you find an item that's $5, that cuts into your profit, right? So what happens is if you're spending money advertising on Bing, and eventually if you ever branch out into any other advertising platforms like Facebook or Google, it's all the same. The more money you're spending on advertising, the more profit you need to make and more sales you need to make to generate a profit, right? To have better profit margins. So that's why I recommend $3 or lower, because this lets you spend a few dollars in advertising to gain a customer and you'll still make a profit. Now, a lot of times what I look for, and when I'm testing products, I look for items that obviously sell more than once a day. So what this does is if that happens, it allows you to spend a little bit more, have a little bit higher priced item, if you will, because that first sale might cover the cost of your advertising, right? And then every sale after that is profit. So what I mean is, if you're spending roughly $3 a day on ads for your campaign, and you're making 2 sales a day, let's say, well, that first sale is breaking even for you, okay? Because you're paying $3 for the product, you're charging $6.95. So when you make that sale, you have to buy the product. It leaves you $3.95, but you also have to pay for the advertising fee that day, or the cost of running your ads, which is $3. So you're left with 95 cents if you only got that one sale. But let's say you got 2 sales that day. Well, now you have an extra $4 profit. So just keep that in mind. That's why generally the whole goal here is to find products that sell more than once per day. But if they even sell once per day and the cost of your item is low enough, you can still make pretty good money, okay, by stacking campaigns and different free plus shipping offers up. So now let's get into your special offer items. These are the items that you're going to be sending out via an email to the buyers list. So the people that take you up on your free plus shipping offers are going to be added to a list that we talked about with GetResponse. And you're going to be emailing them weekly offers for items that cost $5 or more, or that make you a profit of $5 or more, okay? So if you're finding an item on eBay or AliExpress and it costs $5 or $10, well, with these special offers, since these aren't free plus shipping offers, you'll be charging more, okay? So with those, you can add an extra $5 or $10 on, or double the price of what you're buying it at, so you make a bigger profit, okay? Because you already know the people you're sending it to are proven buyers. They've already bought something from you, so you know they will spend money, so you'll have better conversions with higher priced offers for them. We will get into that in a little bit. For now, let's continue on with what else makes a good niche. So you also want to find something or a niche that has multiple products. The last thing you want to do is find a great selling product for free plus shipping offers, and that whole niche is so small that there's only a couple offers available. So really fast you're going to hit a wall, and it's going to make it really difficult to grow your business. Some really good types of businesses that I can come up with off the top of my head are, let's say, sports, right? Because if you find a good selling item for one team, well, there's 28 to 32 teams in general. So now you can expand that same campaign that you're running for the one team across all the other teams, or even dogs, for instance, because there's a lot of dog breeds, right? So if you find something for a pit bull, then you can also try the same thing for German Shepherds, Chihuahuas, whatever. There's a million dog breeds out there. So hopefully that makes sense. That's just one way to make sure you're in a market that is evergreen. It always has products coming in, and it easily is expandable, okay? Another thing is shipping times. What we want to look for, especially on AliExpress, and I will be showing this on video here in a second, is they usually do a couple different shipping times. Now on AliExpress, you do not want to use the items that have the very long shipping times of 35 to 60 plus days. You want to stay away from those, because it will be very hard to keep your customers happy once they pay and they have to wait 1 or 2 months just to get their item. Now, if they have to wait a month, that's okay if that's the max they're waiting. Generally, you want to find items that have a 15 to 26 day delivery for the standard shipping, okay? And try not to go above that. Some of them will say 15 to 40 days, and that's okay too, because it says 15 days. So generally, your customers will get their item in 2 to 3 weeks on average. And you just have to make sure you're telling them that on the website. When we set a product up, I will be showing you how to do that. Now, there's also something on AliExpress called ePacket, okay? Now, what ePacket is, it's the fastest shipping you can get. Generally, ePacket delivery has a 5 to 15 day shipping time, okay? So that's going to get to your customers a lot faster. However, you end up paying a little bit more for that. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, if you want to offer them the fastest shipping available, then you can do the e-packet delivery. And it's a lot easier to do that when you find items that cost less than $3. Okay, because if you have a $3 item and the e-packet delivery charge for shipping is, I think it's usually between $1 and $2, that's going to cut into your profit. Again, if you're making multiple sales a day, that's not going to be a huge issue on your ad costs. But that's just something to keep in mind. Okay. Now, something else that happens on AliExpress, and again, I'll show this to you, is right where it says shipping, okay, you'll see in parentheses the processing time. So don't go over a processing time of 3 to 5 days. Some of them are 7 days, some of them are a lot longer. And what that is once you place the order with them, you have to wait that amount of days before it even ships out. So if the shipping time is 15 to 40 days and the processing time is 7 days, that's going to add an extra week on to the 15 to 40 days for processing. So keep that in mind. Keep the processing time to 3 to 5 days, and you should be good. All right. So now USA shipping times is for eBay. Okay. Now generally on eBay, it's coming from the US, and so you expect the shipping times to be 5 to 7 days, or sometimes they do 3 to 5 days. But you don't want anything longer from the USA of 5 to 7 days. Okay, so, and the reason I'm bringing that up, it might seem obvious, but when you're looking on eBay, there's some items, and if you don't say you just want the USA items to show, you can get worldwide items. Okay, so UK and China, and those will have the really long shipping times on them. So that's why I'm saying just pay attention to that. Generally, you're going to be using eBay for the special offer items, okay, which are your more expensive items. So that's when you're going to have the standard regular shipping times that we're all used to in the USA. Okay, now you can also use eBay and get an idea for some free plus shipping items, and then go over to AliExpress and see if you can find that same item. And that's what I do a lot. If I'm having trouble coming up with ideas, I might search eBay, and if I find something on there, I'll head over to AliExpress, try to find the same item, and if I can, you can usually find it a lot cheaper on AliExpress. So maybe on eBay it costs $10, so you can't do a free plus shipping with it, but on AliExpress it might cost $1 or $2. Okay, so that's something else to keep in mind. So let's head over to the next section now, which is how to find products in your niche. You already know we're going to be using eBay and AliExpress. So with eBay, what you want to look for are items that have a lot of sales, okay, or let's type out as high sales volume. Okay, high sales volume, you want multiple sales a day, and again you want items in the $5 and up range. Okay, and these are going to be for your special offer items. Now on AliExpress, you're also wanting something similar. You want it to have a high sales volume, okay, and they don't show how many sales a day an item gets on AliExpress, so what you want to have is good reviews. Okay, high quality, or reviews with a lot of stars, so you know that the product is worth spending your time on and sending out to people. The last thing you want is to send people products that they all hate, and then it gives your store a bad name. Okay, so high sales volume and good reviews, and pay attention to the shipping times. Okay, so Let's go ahead and head over to AliExpress since that's where we are going to be finding most of the free plus shipping items. Let's go ahead and start there. And I'll show you exactly how to look for and find the products that you want to offer as your free plus shipping offers. Okay, here we are on AliExpress, and that's just aliexpress.com. And since I'm doing an example on a clothing store, I will go right here, and it looks like it's the first category for me. Now, if you don't see your category over here, you can click See All, and you can start digging down in those categories. So if I click on women's clothing, let's see what that does. Okay, so here are the other categories. Now you can just start digging down into any of these items. Okay, high perceived value, women or women and men like sunglasses, so that kind of catches my eye right now. Let's just go there to accessories. Now, just from looking at this, you can see there are, I think these are headbands, hairbands they call them, and that's the thing on AliExpress. Same with eBay. They name them whatever they can think of to name them. Okay, so this might not be the exact name. So when you're searching, if you ever decide to start searching for items instead of just hunting through categories, you can type in keywords just like on eBay. You have to kind of try any way you can think of to describe the item, and you can get different results. So keep that in mind. So I'm looking for something like with high perceived value, and again, sunglasses catches my eye. Let's see here, and you'll notice that these prices right now are higher than the $3, right? But we can dig down into sunglasses and find items that work. $3.49. Right now I'm really just looking through to see if there's any other items that I want to try. A hat, that might be a good thing. Here's some jewelry items, but I think those are relatively cheap even in the US, so I'm not going to bother with that. Okay, so let's just go with sunglasses just to speed this up. Okay, so you could easily sit here and go through all these pages, start digging around and looking for an item that catches your eye. But let's stick with sunglasses. So let's see, sunglasses is right here. Now here's what you want to do to get the cream of the crop items to show up and filter out the ones you're not interested in. So for shipping, click free shipping, and then the page will load. And then click 4 stars and up. And under price, you can hold your mouse over these boxes and it will start putting a price in and tell you the average amount that people are paying. So if you're holding the mouse over this and it's in the $5 to $10 range, it probably means you're going to have a hard time finding items in that category to work with free plus shipping. So let's go no minimum price, and let's go a max price of $3 and hit OK. And then the last thing you want to do excuse me, is sort by orders. Alright, so now you'll have all the items that are between $0 and $3 have 4-star plus ratings, and now all of the ones that are on top have the most orders. So you could see right here, this one has 25,000 orders. That's a lot of orders. And then you have 16,000 that has 7,000 reviews. So you also want to pay attention to the number of reviews. This could have a 5-star review, but it might only have 10 reviews. That's not a high enough volume that you want to trust the quality of that item on. These have thousands and thousands of reviews and thousands of orders. So all of these at the top here could be great free plus shipping items. Let's just click on this one. Okay, so here's the page, and it looks like it comes in multiple colors. Alright, so now when we add this product to the store, me see if it's going to let me, if it's going to show an example or not. Now, I would say some of these look more expensive than the others. So this says $1.88, right? When you add all these to the, if you're going to add this item to your store, you might want to think about giving the buyer a choice of which color they want and just saving this picture and adding it to the store. But right now we're just picking a product. So let's see, 4.7 stars on the reviews. It's $1.88. So now ships out within 7 business days. Okay, like I said, that's a lot longer than I like to look for. If you want to pick one with 7 business days, that's fine. But what I would do is on your site, add that shipping time into the delivery time. So now the delivery time is good, 15 to 26 days, and generally that's called China Post Small Packet Plus. However, you still need to look because sometimes even when it's called that, it has a 30 to 60 day delivery time. Let's see, they do offer ePacket. With this seller, it's 10 to 15 days. This one is 5 to 10, but you'll never use EMS because it's really expensive. But it looks like they're charging $3 for ePacket. So we can probably find an item that's a little cheaper with a better processing time. Okay, so let's go and see. Let's go back and see if we can find a better item. So I'm going to open up a couple tabs here. Let's try this one. Let's see, is there any other for $1? The reason I'm trying to find items in the dollar range right now is when I add on the ePacket, it might keep me under $3, but you can still look for items that are higher. And generally I do. I don't always stick to just the items in the $1 range. Like I said, I go up to $3. Let's try this one. I'm just picking these at random. So this has multiple colors. Processing time is 5 days. That's better than 7. Let's see, are they all the same price? Also, sometimes when you're clicking on the different items, sometimes they'll charge more. So pay attention to that as well. And you'll see it says 2 days left here. Generally, that's for this sale. But most of the time, especially if you send the seller a message, you can get them to reset the sale. And a lot of times they do anyways. It's just how they can get the price marked down to be competitive. They just put it on there and then put it on sale because that lets people think they're getting a better deal because they see the item on sale. But in reality, it's always on sale because, like I said, they renew the sale a lot. It looks like this is staying the same price the whole way. So let's see, do they offer ePacket? If I wanted it, they do, and it's $2.44. So if I was to use that, $2.44 plus, what was that, $1.94? That would put me at $4.38, okay? So generally, what I do is I stick with just standard shipping, let them know it's 15 to 26 days. But if I really, for whatever reason, want to give them a faster delivery time, I'll either find a product that is $1 with a lower ePacket delivery. Some will do $1.38, some $2, but it's generally between $1 and $2, I would say. So this is pretty common price range. If I wanted to do that, then, and I was charging $6.95 for shipping, right? This is going to go negative here, but that's okay. I would be making $2.50 profit. And just so I don't confuse people, I'll do that the other way. What was my history? 438. Okay, so $6.95 minus $4.38. So I'd be making $2.57 profit per order if I went with ePacket delivery. Alright, now if my ad spend is costing me $3 a day on Bing, I would need 2 sales a day to make a couple dollars profit per day. Okay, now you can scale this up. Okay, so don't think, well, I'm just going to be making a couple dollars a day. No, that's just if you set your campaign budget low. Okay, if you have a winning item, you'll be scaling that up as much as possible and increasing that sales volume, and then you'll have multiple items selling. With the whole system, it starts bringing in decent money. Okay, so let's say I want to just stick with this item. So we'll put these sunglasses on our store. So we found our first free plus shipping item, and I'm not going to use ePacket delivery because I want to make more money on the front end. So $6.95, it's going to cost me $1.94 because it's free shipping to United States unless I choose ePacket. Okay, so look for that. Generally, that's always free shipping. That's why I didn't bring it up as something as a main point. But if you're wondering why it's charging you when you click on the item, you just want to make sure it says free shipping. Okay, 99% of them will anyways, but just be wary of that. So let's see what that is. That'll give me a $5 profit. So that's pretty good profit right there per sale on the front end for the free plus shipping offers. So generally, like I said, you're going to be using eBay to find your special offer items. So those are your higher priced offers. You can again use it for finding free plus shipping offers. You just have to find the products that you want on eBay and then head over to AliExpress and see if they're available on there. Or you have to get lucky, but you can sometimes find items on eBay that are shipped from China or from the USA even, and they're really inexpensive. A lot of the free plus shipping offers is just searching around on AliExpress and eBay to see if you can find items, or rather what items you can find that match the criteria you're looking for. But don't worry, because there's a lot of them out there. So let's go ahead and head over to eBay. Here we are. Now, since I'm sticking with the clothing theme right now, let's go ahead and try to find some offers here that are good for the special offer type items. So I'm just going to stick with the women's fashion. So if I'm selling the sunglasses here, women's sunglasses, let's say I'm obviously getting a lot of women customers, so these are my buyers. And let's keep with that theme and try to find something more expensive to offer them after they've been put on my buyers list. So let's see, I'm just going to click shop all, and I'm going to, let's see, free shipping is good, new with tags, that's fine. USA only, so this is only finding products in the USA. Now all these options are selected over here. It did this automatically for me, so if I wanted to change it to worldwide, I could click that. Let it reload here, and now I'll be getting a lot of items from overseas. So you'll see from China. Now these are going to have the long shipping time, so I'll click on this and show you what I'm talking about. So it says estimated delivery between May 4th and May 18th. Today is the 21st, so that's almost 30 days, which is actually not too bad. But if somebody is going to pay full price for this and not a free plus shipping offer, they might not like that they have to wait a month. Again, if you put it on your site, you're more than welcome to test this stuff out. Just because I don't do that, again, does not mean it's not possible. I'm sure there are a lot of people in the e-commerce world that probably do this. So feel free to test it out. For now, though, I'm going to find a USA item. So I'm going to go back and select US only. Since I'm using this for my more expensive item, I just like to make sure it gets to them quickly. And so let's go ahead. It's sorted. I'm in everything. I'm looking at every single category here. And let's make sure it's on buy it now, which I don't think it is. We don't want to deal with auction items. We're not trying to bid on anything. So let's just scroll down here. So what we're looking for is items that have a high number of sales. So when an item reaches a certain point, eBay starts telling people, hey, this item is becoming a hot seller. So for instance, this one just says 10% off. That doesn't mean it's selling at all. I'll even open that in a new tab here. And you'll see that it hasn't sold at all actually. It doesn't even say how many are available or anything. But these items, new women's color blazer jacket, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Now you'll notice that it says, first of all, let me start here. It's the item location, it's free shipping, and it's from California, United States. It has sold 8,560. It has sold 11 just in the past 24 hours alone, okay? And there is more than 10 available. Okay, so now these are the types of items you want to look for. You want to find items that have, let's see, where should I put this? High sales volume, like I said, which is obviously this does. It's sold 8,560. It even says up here now, they don't all say this, but this is a very good sign. This has already sold 11 in one day. Multiple sales a day, which I just covered. That's your ideal one. If it only gets one sale a day, that's fine too, but you really want ones that have multiple sales a day for a much higher chance of selling. Okay. Items in the $5 or more range, this is $26. Now, know this, the higher the item price, the less sales you will get for it. The lower the price, the more impulse buys you will receive. Okay, but now these are already buyers that we're going to be sending these offers to, so you'll have a better chance of them buying anyways. Okay, this isn't someone who's never bought from you before. You already know they trust your brand because they bought from you. They should be a happy customer, and so they'll buy from you again at some point in the future. Now, something to look for is the quantity available, which I think I did not put here, so let's add that. So you want items that have a high quantity, which this one says more than 10 available. That's great. You don't have to have ones that say more than 10 available. If they only have 50 available or 100 available, that's up to you. Maybe you're not concerned about having a long-lasting sales item. You know, with this one, they probably have thousands and thousands of these, so you can make sales for a really long time. Maybe you just want to do a quick special and you don't mind selling only 50 or 60 items before they go out of stock. You just want to make sure they don't have only one or two available, because if it starts selling and let's say they only have one or two available and you make 10 orders, well, you're going to be 8 orders short, right? And then you have to refund 8 people, and they're not going to enjoy that. They usually won't be too mad because you're refunding them, but they're still going to be a little disappointed, and you'll be disappointed because you just lost money or you potential profit. Okay, so just make sure you're checking items that have a decent amount available and a lot of sales. So if it doesn't have this hot signal up here, how do you know how many sales an item has? What you do is you come in here and you look at this link right here on the amount sold. You click it and it will open up the page and you can see the daily sales. Okay, so now you can see this one, like it said, it sold 11 in 24 hours. Whatever time frame that started is within the past 24 hours it's sold 11, but so far today it's sold 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yesterday. Okay, and then you can keep looking down and make sure that wasn't just a fluke. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 the day before. 1, 2. You can see, I don't need to keep counting for you, but you can see that it keeps going every day. This thing is making sales. So this is obviously a hot selling item on eBay, right? Now, if you really want to get technical, you can even look at, if you only want to offer, let's say, one color or one size, you can come through and just kind of take a look and see what seems to be the most popular as well. But what I recommend is you take this item. So I'll use this item as my example now. You take this item and you just offer all the colors and the sizes that they have available, okay? And you set this up on your store, and then you would send your buyers an email that, and we'll get into this later, but I'm just recapping really quick right now. You send them an email that says this item is available. Here's a discount coupon for it. As being one of our VIP customers, here's a discount coupon for it. Enjoy, basically, right? You're shooting them an email offering them this item. So now, what do you do for the price on these types of items? You want to make a profit, right? Well, you want to make it at least a $5 profit. So since this is free shipping, let me bust out the calculator again just to make sure my math is exact. It's $26.99 and it's free shipping. So if you want to make a $5 profit, you're going to have to make it at least $31.99. So then you're making $5 on every sale. But here's the thing to look for. Now, you also have to make sure that this price is lower than the average price the item is selling for to the public. Okay? The last thing you want to do, if this is on average, you're going to your local store or whatever, and this is selling for $20, and it's already overpriced on eBay, that means. Okay? Generally, if it's this hot of a seller, though, the price is good. But how do you cross-check and make sure that this is a good item? Okay, so to do that, we head over to Amazon. So let me get a good name for this. Women's color blazer jacket suit. Sure, we'll take that. And sometimes you have to mess around with these because the sellers stuff every keyword they can think of in the name, so they rank for different things in the eBay listings. But so let's head over there and let's Google this. Since Amazon is one of the main online retailers, this is a good place to come and find out what people are paying for items. So you want to find one that's pretty similar. So here's one right here, and it has 1,000 sales. And let's just look. It's the exact same one right there in this picture, right? They probably even stole the picture from Amazon, or this person stole it from them, who knows? And that's extremely common. So the one thing to remember, this says free shipping on eligible orders. So let's click on that and see if it's free shipping now or if it's free shipping if you spend a certain amount. So this one doesn't say free shipping. Okay, so now this is $26 to $29. Let's see, is the price changing? All right, it tells me to buy. It's not going to tell me. Oh wait, let's see. Size. Okay, so $28.99, and then a large is $26.99. So the average price seems to be, so it's between $26 and $28. So we'll meet in the middle and call it $27.99, right? So the average price that people are paying is $27.99. However, you have to remember they're also paying shipping. Okay, so now Amazon on average, the shipping price is between $6 and $8. So we'll call it $7 shipping plus $27.99. So the average price people are paying for this is $34.99. So going back to eBay, we've just qualified that the eBay price is actually cheaper. So now I just like to use a calculator for everything. If you're amazing at math in your head, then you can do it that way. I just don't like to make mistakes. So we're $8. We have an $8 profit margin to meet the marketplace for the average price here. Okay, so you can charge more than what you find on Amazon. Again, all this stuff comes to testing. You might find that people are buying this at $39.99 and you're making over $10 profit. That's fine. But if you want a place to start and you're not sure what you should be charging, we just found out that we have an $8 profit window before we're at the market standard according to Amazon. Now, another thing you can do is take this same thing and head over to Google, type in the name of the jacket or the keyword you search for on Amazon, and go to shopping. Now, this isn't as effective as Amazon because you can't see how many sales each item has got, but it will still give you an idea of what other people are charging for these products and where they're getting them from. So I would ignore eBay and DHgate. These are the well, you know what eBay is. DHgate is another online seller for drop shipping and things like that. So if you can find stuff from, let's see, I don't even know if this is being sold in stores, which is a good thing because you can put on your item description not sold in stores, so it just kind of adds a little more value to it because then they know they can only get it online. But it looks like the average price is, according to this, they're selling them, this is used, and who knows if this is used. So I don't really pay attention to eBay. Prices are all over the place on eBay. But anyways, this is how you can look on here. Now, this wasn't the best example because a lot of these are from eBay, but if you get some stuff from Macy's and Sears and Walmart and Target, and it'll show you the average price that those major online retailers are charging. So here's one from Target. It's a little different. It's not really the same, but it's $34.99. So they're charging $34.99 from Target, okay? So that's hopefully that makes sense and gives you a better idea of what you can do to figure out what the average price for these items are. For now, I'm just going to go back here. We did figure out on Amazon it's an $8 profit margin. So if you want to match that, you can just add $8 on and charge, what was it, $34.99 for this special offer product to your list. Now, there's one more trick you can do here. Just because I found this item was a hot seller doesn't mean I have to buy it from this seller. Okay, so here's a little trick actually to find the same item, but maybe you can save some money on it. So let's go to eBay now and let's just search and see what comes up. And is this from China as well? Like I said, you can send them from China. Obviously, it's a lot cheaper price range. However, they're going to have to wait a lot longer. So instead of 3 to 5 days shipping, they're going to be waiting almost another month, which is probably not going to fly and make most people happy when they're paying $30 plus for an item. So I'm going to stick with US only and see what comes up here. So we have, this is our item that we were just looking at, and is free shipping still on here? Let's make sure. Okay, free shipping, and we still want the buy it now. Okay, US only, free shipping. Did buy it now not get clicked? Where'd that go? Okay, buy it now is on. Oh, it's right up here. Okay, so now we look through, and it looks like this one is $18.99. I'm not exactly sure that's the same thing. It looks like it is. And this one is $12.49, but we don't know how many they have available. Remember, we need to look at that. This one is $15.98. Let's open that one. And it looks like $13.29. Open that. So you get the idea. Now I'm just getting kind of carried away here, and I want to find the cheapest deal I can get. So I think that should be enough, and I don't see any other ones that have the X amount sold showing up. So I've already opened up quite a few of these. Let's go ahead and take a look. First, let me go back to the initial listing so I can compare it. Okay, so let's see. This one, that's what it looks like. What does this one look like? So obviously this is not the same. And I think if we scroll down, and you can read the description if you're not sure as well. But just looking at this looks like a different material. It does have 229 sold, but there's only 2 available. So that wouldn't work anyways, even if we did find it. So let's get rid of that. This has 10 available. That's not enough for my liking. Last one, 8 available. So now, if we were to find some of these and they were the same, which I don't think this one is. No, it's similar but not the same still. If you were to find the same, and this does happen often, you will find items that are the same for a cheaper price, and you can buy them from that seller, okay? Now, this one only has 10 available though. Let's assume that it had a lot more and it was the exact same one. Well, we would just make a lot more money than $8 because it's $14 or $13 cheaper from this seller. But in this case, this is the only one that we can find with the same jacket, so this would be the price that we'd have to go with, but still an $8 profit is not bad at all. Okay, so that's how you find your hot selling items on eBay. To recap, you would just want to make sure they have enough available. There's a lot of sales, and you can click on the sales link and see how many they're selling each day, preferably at least one a day. Okay, and you want to make sure the shipping's from US if you want them to get the item quickly. Okay, time to add the product to our store. So we found a niche, we found a product, we found a free shipping product as well. Okay, now a lot of you might only find the free plus shipping products first, and that's perfectly fine. You can certainly do that and then start testing those products out and building up your buyers list, and then worry about finding the special offer items next. Or you can simply go in and start filling your store up with products first. So those could be free plus shipping offers and a combination of the higher paid items as well. There's multiple ways to do it. It's really just what you prefer to do. A store always looks a little better if you can put at least 5 products on it. That way it's not just one product. So if you're going to do that, I recommend finding at least 3 free plus shipping offers and maybe a couple, 2 or 3 higher priced items to put on there from eBay. So I'm not going to show you or make you sit here and watch me add a bunch of products to the store. It's the same process over and over. The whole point is, once you know how to find them, you can simply add them to your store. So let's get into how to add a product to our store though. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is grab the images for the products that we want. Now, just because you find something on eBay doesn't mean you need to take the image from eBay if you can find a more clear and nicer image somewhere else. In this case, these images look great. There's no watermarks on them or anything, so I can either scroll down and see if the pictures are there, which doesn't look like they are. So I'll just click on it, right click, and save the image to my computer. So let me label this something that I will know what it is when I'm trying to import it into Shopify. We will call this the women's coat pink or salmon or whatever color that is. We'll call it pink. Hit save. And now let me get out of here. Okay, so if I wanted to add all the colors, which is what I recommend doing, I would simply click and save all of these pictures. All right. Now you can add this as your main image. It just doesn't look, in my opinion anyways, it doesn't look as professional. So I prefer to just add each one separately if they have it. Sometimes they don't have it and you'll just have to deal with what they do have if you're grabbing your image from eBay. Okay, and this one has a lot of images, so there are plenty of them there. I'm just going to do this first one here. Or actually, I'll grab one that has a front and back. How about that? We'll just go with, I really don't want to do black and white. Let's see. We will go with, now I'm being picky. We'll go with, this is really ugly. At least I think so. So let's just go with this purple one. I'll do this purple one instead. Purple, oops, see I should have labeled that the front so I would know what it was. Let me see if I hit next. I'll just label this one the back so I can differentiate it that way. Okay, so I got my higher priced item. I'm going to make it $34.99, and I'm going to leave this open right now because I'm going to be using parts of the description here. But I also need the item for my free plus shipping offer from AliExpress. So let's see, what do I want to be my main one? I kind of liked those. And something you can do when you're testing out offers is you can test different images. Images make a big impact because it's what people kind of what helps them make a buying decision. So now you will be adding all of these to the store anyways. Like, again, I'm not going to add every single image. I will add a few of them. It's the same idea. You just keep adding them until you're done. I'm going to go with these. So let me see. Do they have a good picture, which is these? Yeah, that's what I'm looking for, is something without any text on it, but that actually doesn't have any branding. It's not a store name. So let me see, what would, that's one giant image. I definitely don't want that. Okay, there it goes. So what we can do, or what you can do, is you can just keep, you can just keep the number 3 or whatever there, if this was the image, let's say, you were trying to use, or you can simply pick a different image. You can use this one. Now, another thing you can do, and when it comes to finding these images, there's no right and wrong way to do it. If you have Photoshop skills, or you have or Snagit, or I think something free is called Duck Capture. There's probably a million different ones out there that will take screenshots. You can click on these and just take a screenshot and edit out the logo, or you can use Photoshop and erase the logo, or you can try going to Google Images and typing in the sunglasses. So that's what I did over here, and I already looked through this real quick to save time, and the sunglasses that I wanted, those cat eye ones, the exact brand or exact type was not in here. Okay, so what you can do is, if you can't find it here and you really don't have any other options, you can just grab this image. Let's say I decide I'm using, actually, you know what, let's go back and get the cat eye one. Okay, you know what, I'm not going to do that, I don't think. Yeah, because when I click, it sends me to this, so it won't let me grab the cat eye image, and I don't have a screen capture ability on here right now because I'm recording my videos with Snagit. If I wasn't, I could capture a screenshot. So I'm going to show you how to do this with Photoshop. So let's see here. Okay, it's not letting me right click either. Now, again, this is more difficult right now because I'm trying to do this without taking a screenshot since I'm using Snagit to record this video. So I'll find a way around it. And I'm not pausing this. The reason I'm not pausing this video and just getting this done really quick is because this is going to be helpful for you guys if you run into the same type of problems where you're having trouble getting an image. I want you to see how I get around it so you don't hit that roadblock. So I'm going to scroll down and just right click here where it will let me and save this entire image. Okay, and now I'm going to go back to Google, click on all so I get all the results, and type in, I think I'm just going to type in Photoshop Editor Online. We'll just do that. I think it's called Pixlr. There it is. Okay, so Pixlr. And this is just a free image editor. So now let's see, open image from computer, select what I want. Oh, and look at that. It actually, I thought it saved that entire image. So I kind of got lucky there. If it would have saved that entire image, I thought it was going to save all of this, I would just have cut out what I wanted, but it made my life a little easier right now. And so I'm just going to choose the eraser, which is I think right here. And let's see, brush, I just want it to be a solid brush. Let's go back to 30, and I think I just click out of there. Yeah, and then I'm just going to erase that logo. Okay, and that's it. So now I just need to save it. Save. Sure, quality, let's keep it at 100. Make sure it's on my computer, hit OK, and save over the image I already have. Yes, I want to replace it. Alright, and now I have my image. Okay, so I know that was a little long than just getting it done really quick, but I want you guys to get the most value out of this training, so I'm showing you how to get around some roadblocks when they occur. Now that we have the image, though, what we need to do is add it to the store. So let's go ahead and head over to our store and click on products. Oops, products. And I already had something that I added really quick. I can edit that one, but instead of editing it, I can't speak for some reason, I'm just going to remove it all together and start over. And did that delete? Okay, so now you'll probably see a screen that looks like this. So you'll click on add product, or you can click on add product up here. It doesn't matter. Now we need a title for our product, so which one do we want to add first? It really doesn't matter, but let's go with this one. So we'll call it, I'm definitely not calling it that long name, so let's just grab, I don't want to call him, well, I guess there's no brand, is there? So I'll just call him designer shades or whatever. So let's just paste that in there. So new fashion cat eye sunglasses. And I'm actually going to delete that. And whatever you name it is up to you, really. And learn how to spell. So for women, now the description, what we want to do is go back to AliExpress and look at their description. If it's good, we can use it. If not, we'll have to come up with one on our own or go to Amazon and find one there. I don't see much text, and that is very small. Okay. Let's see. We really need some more, or a good description here. So to find this description, there's a couple different things we can do, but first I'm going to give you guys a template that you can use, and I'll paste it below. It'll be below this video. And what we're going to do is paste the skeleton description right here. So you click this little editor where it says show editor, so it's in the code view, and then when you paste the code that I'm giving you and put it and go back to the main screen, if you're familiar with WordPress, you know exactly what this is, and you'll see that this is what comes up. So you guys can use this as your template for each item. Keeps it really simple for you. You don't have to come up with how you're going to display everything. So first though, so we can either add a description or we can just add the features. Okay, so I can put a description in here, and if I wanted to do that, what I would do is the same process. So we would find these glasses and maybe go to Amazon because they're pretty good about putting descriptions. Let's take out, actually let's keep women. Let's just do that and see if these show up on Amazon. That's pretty much what they are. So let's see if they have a description here. Now, are they saying these are polarized? I guess UV protection. They had a question and answer down here. What I do? I guess that's not polarized. I don't know that much about sunglasses, but so we might be able to use this listing right here. Okay. So it looks like this is actually the same. They don't actually give a good description either. Let's see. So this isn't actually a description of the sunglasses. So in different niches, it's different. Some will have good descriptions, others won't. So you can just either create a description from down here just by piecing together people's testimonials if you want to get an idea of what to say about the product, or to keep it simple, you can just skip that and copy the item's description either from Amazon if it's the same, or you can take the bullet points from here, which would probably be better, and you just fill in the benefits here. So let's say, what is that, UVB rays. Okay, so let's go back to the product page, benefit, paste that in there, UVB rays. I'm going to do another one, just hit enter. Let's grab some more. Let's see. Should have grabbed that whole thing actually. Let's do that. Do I want the bullet list like that? If I don't, I can just hit this bullet right here. But I like it being there. So I'm actually just going to keep that off. And let's grab some more. Style, cat eye. Now, for the style, I guess it is all the same, so that's okay. So with these free plus shipping offers, you can either offer all the colors, which will increase your sales, or you can just pick one that you like and test that and offer that single product. So for this video, I'm just going to be offering, just putting one product on there. If I was really going to be offering this as a free plus shipping offer, What I would probably do is test this one out first, and if it started making sales, add the rest of the colors. So then it would increase my sales even more. So let me just get something going here. I'm going back to Amazon. I like their listing description better. I'm just going to copy it and paste. That did not turn out how I wanted it to, but I can just hit backspace and enter each time. Now, I would have to double check these dimensions and stuff so I know I'm telling people that it's correct. So let's see, 47 millimeters, 16, 135. Does it even say any of that? Since it doesn't say any of that, oh, see, I could have just used these as the bullet points. I probably should have. Strong impact, true colors, easy to clean. So now I just saw that. I'm going to go back and change that. But if I was going to keep this, I would take these out because their AliExpress listing does not say the actual dimensions, and I don't want to tell people something that's not true. So reinforced metal hinges. Now, this is plenty. You don't need any more if you want to keep just this, or like I said, I was just going to do, I could go back and put these as the bullet points. But since this is already done, to speed this video up, I know these videos get long, I'm just going to keep it how it is. Now, for a limited time only, you want to put the actual price. So for these free plus shipping offers, if you know the item's not worth, what, let's say $20, then you can put something else. Most sunglasses in the US, you're going to pay $20 or a lot more than that. So I picked $19.99 right now because it's a limited time deal. It's $0, and I put just pay shipping here. So now I need to upload the image. So let's go ahead and select the image. And that looks like it did not take out, I should have checked that. It didn't take out the black text. So let's go back to Pixlr, however you spell that, and redo this really quick. And choose the image, hit open. Okay, so there is our image. We have the title, the features, we have the call to action saying add to cart, and we have the image. Now the price, we put $0 because it's free plus shipping. And we compared it at already up here $19.99, so make sure you put the same thing and the compared at price. I don't charge taxes. That is up to you. You can speak to your tax guy, your CPA, and ask them what you want to do there. I just choose to charge what I charge, and then at the end of the year you pay your taxes. So if you want your customer to pay a little bit more to cover the cost of all that, then you can click charge taxes on this product. So inventory, I don't mess with the inventory. I don't mess with a barcode. I don't track the inventory. Shipping weight. Now remember from the shipping video, this is a free plus shipping offer, so they have to pay for shipping. If we keep the weight at 0.0, it will charge them nothing for shipping. It will make shipping free. We don't want that, so we want to put this as 0.1. Okay, so that'll charge $6.95 for shipping. And we always keep selected this product requires shipping, no matter if you're doing a free plus shipping offer or you're doing a offer that you're charging money for and giving them free shipping. So now let's go ahead and click add, oh, nope, not add variants. Let me talk about that real quick actually. If I was going to add all the other product colors, I would click add variants, okay? And you would call it whatever you want. So this would be color, and the options would be from whatever we have here. What is this? If I hold the mouse over, it just says numbers. So that would be black. This would be, so it looks like the lenses are changing here. So maybe black, white, and then there's more black with different color lenses. So what you could do is make one called lens color. You could say glasses color, and you could say black, white. Every time you hit comma, it adds it as its own thing. I have no idea what color this is actually called. So let's see. These are all black, so we have green, pink, and purple. Now, like I said, I am not going to actually add these, because if I did, I would need to add more images. Okay, I would need to put the images for each one of these in here so people can see what the actual colors are. I'm just showing you right now how to add the options. So let's add another option. Let's say I wanted lens color. Oops. Alright, I'm not typing well. Okay, so we have blue, black, and I think it was gray or something. So hit comma. And now we would hit save product. Now down here, this is if you want to change the price and you want to charge different prices for each one. Since this is free plus shipping, I'm not charging them a price, okay? So we'll just, and like I said, I never mess with the SKU number, which is inventory, and the barcode. So hit save product. And I'm just doing this to show you what it looks like with variants on the page, which are these. These are the variants. Well, if it would let me show you. Okay. So now if I go to view, you can see here that the product is now in the store. It has the description with the features, and right here are the variants that I added. So you can select any one of these colors: white, black, lens color. Now I could keep it like this, but that might hurt sales simply because people won't be able to see what the black ones look like or the green ones. So I always add the actual color in there because people like to see what they're buying, right? So that's how you add a product. For now, I'm going to remove all these variants though. Like I said, I'm not adding them on there. I just wanted to show you how to do it, because I'm trying to make this as fast and simple for you guys so you can just understand how to do it. You don't need to watch me add every single color on the site. So then it took off those variants. So that's what it looks like with no variants. Now we're almost done here. What we want to do is go back to the product and label it as something. So a product type, let's say sunglasses, or if you want, you can label it women's sunglasses. Add women's sunglasses, so now that's a product type. The vendor, you can change the vendor name, or you can just keep it as your store name. Collections, it's automatically added to the home page collection. If you want to add it to say free plus shipping, or you maybe wouldn't call it that, but let's say you want to offer limited time deals collection, you could do that. Okay, now what this is doing is it's searching for the collection. So to actually create a collection, you need to click on collections right here. First, let me save because I added this product type, and let me click on collections, and now this is hidden, so that's why it's not showing up on the front page. But let me add a new collection, and we'll label it limited time offers. Now, manually select products or automatically select products based on conditions. Okay, so this is how you can do that. You can do it two different ways. If you want to manually do it, you can add it to a collection on the product page like I just showed you by searching for this, or you can just have it automated and do it by product type or product tag, any of these, okay? So I'm going to choose product tag is equal to limited time offer. And now I'm going to hit save collection. Okay, so now let me copy that. Let me go back to my product and let me click on it. And now, since I made it by a tag, I need to add that tag down here. If I wanted to do it manually, I could have typed limited time offers up here. But since I added it with a tag, I'm going to add that tag. So it should add it to that collection for me now. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video now and I'm going to add the jacket from eBay. Now that you know the process and how I did it, I'm not going to make you watch me add a second product on here. I will pause the video and then I will show you once I'm done. Okay, so I've added the item. I called it the women's candy colored fashion blazer, which is what it was called on eBay. I copied this description from eBay. Added all this to my store. I made this red because it seemed important. And let me see, actually, I think I can shorten these up so they're not so spaced out. Okay, let me space that. So then I changed limited time only to say the price of $44.99, which I just chose. I made it $10 off basically. And right now it's $34.99. Okay. And then we have the free shipping. So I changed just pay shipping to free shipping. For the price, I made it $34.99. Compare at price is $44.99. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. So now the big thing here is, since this is a paid product and not a free plus shipping product, the weight needs to be 0 if you're offering free shipping on all items that they pay for. If you want to make them pay shipping on your store, you would have set that up during the shipping and you would put this item weight at whatever you chose. Okay? So if maybe you made 1 pound or more was $4.95 shipping, then you would say this weighs 1 pound. I put that 0.0 was $0 shipping, and since this is a paid item, I'm offering free shipping, so I'm making the weight 0.0. Now, for the tags, I created a collection called Women, and I put that as the tag. Okay, so let me go show you that. So I made it Women's Apparel is the title of the collection, and I put it as a product tag. Products must match. You can have all conditions or any, and there's only one condition here. So if I had multiple conditions, you could do any, or unless you wanted them to have every single condition before it adds it. But I put the product tag is equal to women. And so you can see I went into the sunglasses and added that as well, which I will show you really quick just to make sure you guys are following. So you see I added this tag women. So what it does is it sees that those tags are on those products and it automatically adds it to this collection. Okay, so that's how you add products. Pretty simple. Now in the next video I'll get into how to make your product show up on the home page. Right now it's featured items, which is great. However, I'm going to be showing you right now it has featured items and you only see the sunglasses because I removed the coat from the featured items, which was that home page tag. Which let me show you really quick here. So on the items right here, you can see this is home page. I took that off on this. Okay, you don't see the collection. There's no home page. That's why it's not showing up here. So if I wanted that to show up, I would just add it back to the home page. But in the next video, I'm going to be showing you how to put your links here so your customers can sort through the different collections that you have. Okay, let's wrap this last video up here and add these links to the sidebar on our page. I'm actually going to just put the woman's coat on here as well, just so we have more products right now on the front page. So let me add that. There we go. That's all you got to do. Hit save. And now if I refresh the page, it should be on there. Fantastic. So there you go. The two items that I have put on there, one's free plus shipping and one is the special offer item that you would offer to your buyers list. And if people come here, your customers or your visitors, to look at the free plus shipping item, they can also see that these other items are on the site and buy them as well. Okay. So this is what this one looks like. And you'll see down here at the bottom, it even has more from this collection because the tag woman or women is in there. So everything tagged with women will show up as a item that they can scroll through. So it can increase your sales as well. So anyways, let's go and add this. Now, it says it right here. It tells you what to do. Link to your individual collections by creating a new link list in the navigation section. So let's head over to the online store, navigation, and add a menu. Let's call this, we'll just call it link list since that's what they were calling it. There we go. Oh. Okay, that's already done, right? Yeah. Okay, so now the name of it, it's going to be a collection. We're going to add, let's do limited time offers. Name, and that's what we'll call it, limited time offers. Now let's add another menu item from a collection, and let's do women's apparel. Did I space that? Okay, so women's apparel. Hit save menu. Now those are the two that we have right now. And now if we go back to the theme, go to customize theme. Now there are a couple different ways you can add and make your store look different by adding stuff to your sidebar. So if we click on sidebar, we have menu 1. Well, we just created this one called link list, so it should replace that now. So I need to change the name of that. I don't want it to say link list, but that's fine. We know how to do that. I'll do it in a second here. And let's see, shop by type, shop by vendor. If I add shop by type, it'll say shop by type. So now the type that we created on the product, we said this was a women's, let me see, let me visit admin. Let's make it easier to understand here. Go to product, I'll go to one of them. So product type, I called it a woman's coat. So now if that's what you want to do, you can even just remove this and say none. And let's see, can you show sidebar? I think we have to do that. Looks like on this theme, every theme is different. Looks like on this theme that it's asking to it's making us put something in the menu, otherwise it shows this text. Now, you can remove that by editing the theme's code, but that's pretty technical. I'm not going to get into that. You can Google and research that if you want for everyone watching this video that is tech savvy. Or you can just select this one that we just created and hit save changes. And now what I want to do though is change the name so it doesn't say link list. So let's go back to navigation. Let's edit this menu and change the name. Let's just call it categories. Now, let me make sure, go back to themes, customize theme, and make sure that it changed it here. Okay, it did. So categories, limited time offers, women's apparel, shop by type. So then it has women's coats, women's sunglasses. Now when you add more items, and as you label those items at the product type, they will show up under these types. So if you put another item under women's coat, it will still just have these two links, but it'll have more than one item in here. Okay. If you label it something completely different and it's a new product type, it'll add that here. Same with the categories or the link here, the navigation link. Since now I have to go back to it, you'll need to edit the menu that you labeled categories, and you can add those each one in here by adding a new menu item. Okay, so that's how, now if I refresh this, that's how we make the links show up here. So our store is now complete. We have our logo, we have 100% free shipping, so we're letting customers know. We have a phone number down here. Now this newsletter I need to get rid of again. I forgot I added that on there so I could see the button color, and I never took it off. So let me edit that really quick. I think it was under footer, show newsletter sign up. Okay, save changes. There we go. Let me refresh. So now, like I said, you can keep that on there, and that did not load the page correctly. You can keep it on there, and if you want to connect that to your autoresponder, so that's optional. A lot of this stuff, there's so much stuff you can do with these Shopify stores, so feel free to play around and make your store look unique as well. But this one is now complete, so we've got our items and we are ready to set up an advertising campaign.